Hi everyone, my name is Jordan. I'm going to go over how to solve the first layer cross using the method that Felix Zemdegs recommends on his website. So he has this awesome website, recommend you check it out, called cubeskills.com, right? And on this website, he posts videos about how to solve using the beginner's method. And the first module of this first part here is all about the very beginner's method, right? So how to solve the first layer cross if you've never solved it before, right? And he gives some basic steps how to do that. And what I've done here is I've taken his video and I've taken some notes on it, right? And to help me remember it. And I'm going to explain it to help me remember it more. So hopefully this helps you out too. But here's how you solve the first layer cross. So he recommends using the white cross to start off with, right? Just for the very beginning. And the first thing you want to do is look at your cube and notice where the white edges pieces are. So maybe there's one here, one there, right? Your job is to get these white edges so there's a white cross matching up on top, and so that those sides match up with the other corresponding centerpieces of the other sides next to it, right? So that's called the white cross, right? So there's different cases you'll see about how to solve this, right? And here are the cases. So first is when you have a cross edge on the top layer, like this, right? So the white is right here and you have a cross edge on top. Well, how do you solve that? You just need to rotate it so it matches up. It already was here. It's matching up with the red and the white, and this one's solved, right? Sometimes you can have more than one cross edge on the top, right? So like, look right here. So now I just made it so now there's two in the top layer, but the red one's right, but look at the orange and white one, right? It's above the wrong one. So he says to solve that, what you need to do is you need to take this piece and rotate it twice. So now the white piece is in the bottom. Then you match it up with the place where it needs to go, right? So now the white and the orange match up with the other orange centerpiece where it needs to go. And now you rotate it twice, so now it's in the top, and now both pieces are matched up where they need to be, right? So that's case one, and what to do if you have more than one white piece in the top and one's in the wrong place, right? Case two is that if you have a cross edge in the bottom and it's facing white down. So like here, for example, here we have a white on top, and on the bottom there's another white piece, and the white face is facing down. And the way you solve that is just like we did with that other piece, is you rotate it so that it matches up with the blue, or with the other side, and then once it's in the right orientation like this, you just rotate it twice, so now it's in the top and it is matched up, and now you'd have three pieces on top, right? Case three is, what do you do if you have a piece in the middle layer? So just so happens I have one right here, right? If you have a piece in the middle layer like this, right? So we have the top, the middle, the bottom. Now the white piece, the white edge is in the middle. And the way you solve this is you just need to rotate the top so that it's below, so that the white piece you have here is directly below where you want it to go. So I want this white and green piece to go right here. So it's right below it now, right? Or it just takes one turn to get it there. And once it's there, you just rotate it up, right? And sometimes you might have to move the top around so that when you do that, you don't mess your other pieces up. And then make sure afterwards you rotate the top back so the other pieces are lined up again too, right? So that's what happens if they're in the top, if they're in the middle, if they're in the bottom. Now, there are some tricky situations, and I'm going to try to make one up here, right? So take this piece right here. So we have a white piece, and it's in the top layer, and it's where it needs to be, right? Green and white, green and white. But look at this, it's flipped upside down. So what do you do if it's flipped upside down? And this is where you have your first real algorithm, right? And you might be able to see it intuitively too. But the algorithm is front, up, inverse, right, up, right? And what that looks like is you front, up, inverse, right, up. And what that's doing is you're moving the top piece into the middle layer, right? Then you're rotating it, and then you're putting it back in the top, and then you're rotating the top back. So the algorithm again for that is front, up, inverse, right, up. But you might be able to see it intuitively as well. The other tricky case is what happens if you have a white piece in the bottom layer. So for example, like this. So look at this. It's the bottom layer, right? We have our white center on top, In the bottom, we have a white piece, but now look, the white piece isn't facing down like it was in that earlier case. It's actually facing out, right? It's facing out, out instead of down. And the way you solve that is you just take that middle piece, right? You put it below where it needs to be, you rotate it so it's in the middle layer, right? And once it's in the middle layer, you just need to use your middle layer steps to put it in the top, right? So you use those same middle layer steps to put it in the top, right? So those are the different cases. You have, again, you have 3 main cases, and then you have what to do if they're a little bit different, a little bit tricky, right? So hope that helps. And now I'm going to go through some example solves about using this method and explaining it as I go. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully this will be helpful for you. All right, so here we go. I'm going to do a quick little scramble here, right? And I'm going to do a couple solves here with the first layer cross, just so people have a hang of it, right? So here we go. So white cross on top, you notice where the other white edge pieces are, right? There's one there, right? And there's another one right here. So first thing to do is look on the top to see if there's any on the top. And here there is, right? And you just need to rotate it so it matches up with the side, and it already is here, right? So the red is in the right place. If it was over to the side, I'd be moving it just so it matches up with the red. But like I said, it was already there, and so the first layer is there. The next thing you do is you look for pieces on the bottom, right? And there is a white piece on the bottom, right? And so your algorithm for that is you match it up with the matching piece like it is here, and you rotate it twice, and now it's in the top and it's matching up again, right? And it's important that when you rotate it twice, you want it to be in the right, next to the right centerpiece, right? The green is next to the green, then you rotate it twice, right? The other case you do is you look for a case where the piece is in the middle. So I see a middle piece right here, right? So one right there, but I also see a tricky case right here. I'm going to do this tricky case first because I think that'd be helpful to see, right? So here we have a piece in the top layer, and it's in the right place, but it's flipped around. So how do you solve that? You use your algorithm. So front, up inverse, right, up. And now look, it took it and it flipped it so it's right, and now it's in the right place. So now, and here in the bottom too, again, we have a tricky case, right, where you have a white piece in the bottom, but it's not facing down, it's facing out. So how do you solve that? Well, you put it below where it needs to be. So now it's below where it needs to be, and you put it into the middle layer, right? And so I see now here, it's in the middle layer. Now I solve it using the middle layer steps. So here's that middle layer case, right? Where you have the piece in the middle layer, right? You notice you want it to be right here, right? But if I rotate it right now, it'd be in a tricky case. I don't want that. So I rotate the top, right? And now when I rotate the piece in like this, it matches up. And if I rotate it back now, it's exactly where it needs to be. So that's actually the trickiest part yet, because I rotated the top. So when I rotated the side, it wouldn't mess up the other top pieces, right? So that's a bit more advanced. At least that's what he said in his video. That's how you do it. But for me, that was the most advanced part, was learning how to do that middle layer like that. But those are the main cases. Hope that's helpful. You have your top layer, middle layer, bottom layer. You got those 5 or 6 different cases, what to do when that happens. Hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully this is helpful for someone else. I know it's really helpful for me to explain it. So now it's like ingrained, right? Yesterday when I was trying this, it wasn't making much sense. Now after making this video, I feel like I get it a lot better. So hopefully it helps someone else too. I hope you enjoyed watching, and take care. Maybe I'll see you again sometime.